Hello and welcome back to Behind the Brief, the podcast where we go beyond the buzzwords and into the real stories behind great marketing and leadership. Today's guest is someone who sits right at the intersection of AI, cybersecurity, and product marketing. Three buzzwords, but that are just not LinkedIn worthy, but career worthy. We have Sachin, Senior Manager of Product Marketing at Safe Security, one of the top 100 product marketing influencers, and someone who knows exactly what it takes to build and market products in a highly technical, fast moving, and the AI world. If you are someone curious about AI, trying to figure out what developer marketing even means, or wondering whether you need to code to survive a technical PMM role, then this episode is for you. Welcome Sachin to my show. Really excited to get started.
Hey, I just heard about a lot of buzzwords there. So yeah, I'll just try to keep myself worthy of it. It's all AI developers and this thing. But yeah, super excited to be here, Shruti.
Thank you so much for taking the time. And yes, we are going to be discussing a lot of buzzwords, but not in a jargon manner, but something that brings value to all of our listeners today. So I'll just get started with some of the questions around AI. Like everybody's talking about it, so why not us? But in a manner that helps people, right? So everybody is saying, you need to learn AI or you will be left behind. But when it comes to product marketing, what does that really mean?
So yeah, I love this question. Not because of AI, but because it's everywhere right now, right? Like people keep hearing, hey, you need to learn about AI, and then they start panicking. But the reality is very different. The thing is, people, and you might have heard this, right? People might have heard this, that okay, AI isn't here to take your job. But I usually say that it's here. It's here. AI is here. It is not here to take your job, but it's basically here to take the grunt work out of your job. So if you understand that one word, no, you'll be successful with the AI thing. So that's why people say that you need to learn AI, you need to focus on things that only humans can do, right? And what is this in terms of context of product marketing or anything? And so if it is not product marketing, I would love AI to wash my clothes. I would love AI to do things so that I could do reading and other things. But if it is product marketing, no, if we are thinking from the angle of product marketing, I would love myself to do like storytelling, strategy, and AI could do all the grunt work, like okay, getting the customer reviews, taking the competitors, so that I don't have to log in. I don't have to do things, taking all the gong calls and giving me summary that, hey, these are the win-loss interview things and other things, right? So there are like things AI can't do, I say, and then there are things that AI can do. So can't do are things like these, like understanding the buyer emotion. It cannot fight right now. AI cannot fight between my CCO, CEO, CMO for a messaging thing, because that's like firefighting, right? And this entire, it can give you the insights and all, but it cannot, if there is a launch and the booth messaging is like finalized, it cannot start fighting and getting the three different views and combining it, right? So that's what I say, that no, your job is safe. It's okay. So understanding the buyer emotion, strategy, these are things that you can keep it to yourself as a product marketer. Empathy, judgment, influence. There's like hundreds of things that you could keep it, right? So yeah, that's what I say, that just to summarize everything is, think of AI as your assistant that never sleeps, right? Like as the website is your 24/7 sales agent, the AI is your assistant that never sleeps. And how can you use that for the grunt work and other things, right? So don't get scared. That's what I say. And this entire learn AI thing, that shift is happening. We cannot ignore this. The shift is happening. So we need to understand that. Can you understand the real problem, right? And then move faster. Say suppose we are like two PMMs right now, right? And one is I'm just working on things right now and not looking at AI, but the other PMM, the second one, who can actually see things that, okay, these are my real problems and this is what I can fix with AI and become like 10x of my thing. So that's how you'll be differentiating, right? So can you actually take what's slowing you down, automate it, and 10x it? Or can you actually build a better GTM motion, not with like hours, but more on smarter workflows? So we cannot ignore it. It's coming. You need to learn AI, that's for sure. But we just need to understand, if you can understand that, okay, what is my problem and what needs to be done? Say washing my clothes needs to be done. So you can start like that, right? So
that's a more pressing pressing problem for
Yeah, I would actually start paying for that.
I love that you mentioned that. I do have a follow up on it. So, is it about using AI tools to work smarter, or is it the high time we try and understand AI products themselves? Like, where is the difference in that?
So yeah, I would say that that's a great follow up, and I would say honestly, it's both. Okay, so but yeah, where you actually put the focus, no, it really depends on what kind of PMM you are and what kind of company you are in. Say, suppose let's take an example. Two companies, right? One, say, suppose you're a PMM at a AI startup. It's a AI first company. Even the products are like AI forward. You're working on like LLM product or Gen AI platform or like a workflow automation tool, right? So then, yes, you need to understand the tech as well. Not like you need to learn the Python or the fine tune models and then sit with engineers and start coding it, but tech enough to be dangerous, right? Or enough to translate it so that you
Okay.
save time. You cannot go to your PMs and say that teach me this because everything is busy. People are like, if it is a AI forward company, you'll not have much time to have like a 2 months of GTM thing, right? It'll be there in weeks. So you should be able to, what I tell people is, generally you should be able to answer some questions here. Like if you're in a company where the product is super technical. So what problem does this AI solve? What's the input to output? Then what makes this AI different from others? Because are you doing AI just for the sake of AI or you're doing AI differently? Then how do you
Exactly.
talk about it in like a overhyping way, right? So this is for a company where it is more like AI company. It's non-negotiable, right? Like this year only, I've kind of done it many times. Now let's take example of second type of company. You are a PMM at a company which is not using AI, which is not good right now. All the companies are using it, but yeah, many of the companies are also not using it. In these kind of companies, no, it can be fintech, it can be edtech, anything like that. You need to make sure that how can you be 10x? You can learn the tools. You can say that these are the manual workflows, at least in my work process. So everything will start with you. See, suppose everything starts with me. I can say to my manager that, hey, with AI, with this tool, I can research faster. I can get in Jasper to train the messaging and give it to the demand gen people so that they can write the email templates better or copy.ai, anything like that, right? So everything starts with me in the second thing. I can generate better content draft. I can personalize at scale, things like that. Once I've done that, once I've shown it to my manager and other people in the company that it starts with me, then I would move to marketing. Then I would move to tech. So I would involve tools in every stack. So yeah, these are the two examples. Um, that kind of shows that okay, this is for both. And basically if you have a AI forward product, I say that you're lucky because you can just learn everything right now and be like a force multiplier to all the 99% people out there, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Like you, for me it's both, but the emphasis should shifts based on where you are.
So I want to dig deeper on your developer marketing experience as well, Sachin. So can we talk about why is it so difficult and why people feel developer marketing is like that mysterious, hard to please audience that roll their eyes at all the buzzwords? So, in plain English, what is developer marketing and how is it different from regular B2B marketing?
Yeah, so now you're asking some real questions because that's my domain, right? And so yeah, to the audience and you, I mean, if you have ever tried to market to developers or any technical audience, no, and you've got like silence in return, so welcome. That's developer marketing. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And I generally say this, right? Like in plain English, it's why is it called as developer marketing? Why not product marketing? It's basically like product marketing only, no? You're doing it for developer audience. So it's basically like that's just a Substack kind of thing that came in that okay, we have a developer audience, we have product marketing. This was extension of the DevRel as a role where you kind of sit with the developers, explain what's working and other things, and then you pitch your product, right? That's how this entire thing came in that okay, it's like it will be called as a developer marketing function. And your goal should be very simple in plain English that these are technical audience. So you should show them your product that's working and where it will fit in. Many of the times these guys are sitting on the laptop, they are fixing website errors. It's a 404 error. Instead of pitching your product, can you actually write a blog that says how to fix a 404 error? And this developer who is sitting on the laptop gets an error, goes to Google, searches for 404 error. Now it's ChatGPT times and all. But that's how we have done developer marketing in my past companies like DigitalOcean. And that's how we have built a committee. I'm giving you a real example. The developer has searched a 404 error, read the DigitalOcean tutorial, and and then implemented the fix. And then once he reads like first blog or second blog, then he says that, okay, what is this company? Let me check that out. Right? Oh, these guys are cloud providers. Okay, are they expensive like AWS? Are they like cheaper? No, these guys are cheaper. Let me just buy a server for $5. Now, in this case, there was no pitching, there was no sales involved, nothing is involved, right? So these are, in simple terms, generally developer marketing. And if we have to compare it with like regular B2B marketing, then one of the things that I say is, in like B2B, regular B2B marketing now, you are often selling to the decision makers. Say suppose it's like VPs or the buyers. And 99% of the time you're talking in ROIs, business outcomes, and impact on the revenue. That, hey, this is my ROI and all. So that is all like buzzword for developers. In the developer marketing, you are actually talking to the developers, which are the users. So people who are going to test your product, build, they are in the system with you. And so all they care about is, does this work with my stack? Is it documented well? Can I test this in 5 minutes without talking to sales? Is the API clean and reliable and things like that, right? Generally, instead of marketing at them, right, that okay, I'm kind of going and marketing to the developer, your job should be to remove the friction. Can you remove sales out of the equation? Can you give them the demo? Can you remove the gated white papers and all that, right? Just give them value. I've seen developers spending 45 minutes on a blog. On the blog that I've written, they have spent like 45 minutes because there were actionable steps. And that's a long blog, right? Like 5,000 word blog, which has codes and everything. So if they find value, they will actually come in there, right? So please don't think from the angle of budget owners, ROIs, and campaigns. Start thinking from the thing of great documentation, helpful tutorials. So that's the shift that will happen from product marketing to developer marketing. That's what I say.
So does it help when you shift from developer to product or product to developer? Like what's better? It's like a chicken and egg story, but like which one is better and how, from where should you start?
So developer marketing will definitely be a specialization that you can get in. As a product marketer, you can be a generalist. You can be a generalist on multiple domains, say cyber. You have worked on everything, and you can be a product marketer. But because at like cyber, you are selling to the CISOs and other things. They are not like that tech savvy at that end, right? Unless you're selling to the security, DevSecOps audience and other things. Right? But if you talk about the developer marketing as a thing, you definitely need to come out from that background. If you could have worked on these kind of companies, then the developers will start trusting you. Even the CEOs and CTOs will be like, okay, we need to hire Shruti, we need to hire this guy because they have worked for our competitor. They already have the knowledge on this. Many things can be done with ChatGPT now, at least at the IC levels as well, right? But one thing that will differentiate you is the domain knowledge, the market knowledge, right? I generally tell people that when we say product marketing, right, that marketing is not for marketing as a function. It's for market. We are the market expert. So that's the same thing for developer marketing also, right? So generally that's the categorization. As a product marketer, you can be on top. See, everything is product marketing. Okay. It is just that you are specializing yourself on selling it to the developers, sitting with the developers, and you must be like a developer. You love the developer things, but you also cannot leave the marketing side of the story, right? So yeah, that's the combination of this entire stack, right?
Is it easier to switch to developer marketing? Like when we are in product marketing, we try and focus more on the customer side of things. So if we view developer marketing from that perspective, developers are our customers, right? So we need to think from their pain points. So does it help to actually get into the mind of a developer and then be a better developer marketer? Like how does that work?
Yeah. So you should be completely embedded. So this is what I say. So generally, at like DigitalOcean in my previous to previous company, I was the product marketer or the developer marketer of Kubernetes, right? Like DigitalOcean Kubernetes, which was the most complex product in cloud that time. And being a Kubernetes product marketer, even I went and did the certification of certified Kubernetes admin that time in like 2020. I myself is a CK and a CKD certified admin, right? So that kind of gave me a edge in terms of understanding. Say, suppose if I was planning the onboarding for the product, I could say that, hey, this is a very long onboarding. I'm not going to do it. If I'm planning for the pricing or the costing of the thing, I should know in and out, like how many containers are deployed and things like that, right? So I should know and understand that really, really well in terms of implementing that. So you should be embedded, and 90% of the time you'll see that many of these developer products will come from open source. Generally, like the CEO and the CTO will be working in some companies. Say suppose last to last company, Isovalent, Dan and Thomas were working at Cisco while they were the engineers. They kind of coded out the product as Cilium, and then it worked out. So most of these products will be like as a part of the open, and then you also have an enterprise offering of it. So how embedded are you in the community? Do people recognize you in the community? Are you already in that? I had to join CNCF as a community because I was a product marketer of Kubernetes. I even applied to become a CNCF ambassador. I couldn't get it because those are like very technical people out there. But at least the applying and that process, I went in the Slack channels, the Discord channels, and I used to ask questions. They're like ready to help, but you cannot give knowledge that'll sound fluff for them, right? You can ask questions that, hey, I'm new, I'm like developer marketer here, trying to learn things. They'll be happy to teach you. But then if you try to show like things on the buzzwords and fluff and all, that might not work. That won't be good.
I think it's easily detectable as well. I do have a follow up question on that because there are many marketers who do that. Like, what's one mistake that you constantly see marketers make when they are talking to a developer or they are in this industry?
Many mistakes. The biggest mistake that I've seen, I could think of is, as I think I touched base a little bit on that, is treating the developers as executives, right? So, as a marketer, I know that I would love to say something like, suppose, seamlessly unlocking the potential of the product into enterprise grade synergy. And then, already, if I'm a developer, I would be like opening my eyes and sitting there. I was like, okay, what are you actually trying to say? Right. So people say that developers can smell marketing from 100 feet distance. They are allergic to marketing. If you use words like this, even I am allergic to these words. Leave the developers, right? So if you do hypes, if you do overclaims, if you use buzzwords like this, they just want to know, see, they are busy, right? I mean, everyone is busy, but the life of a developer is hard. And in this thing, when they are going through a problem, there's a bug fix that needs to be done. So how can you kind of come in and show them the solution instead of talking like a executive? Try to be like concrete. Don't be clever. They are already clever. So you don't be clever. Just be concrete. Say that you have a 404 error problem. I have a fix and I'll show you. Take this 5 minutes to test it out. They love it. They love the independence. Give the product for free. At least 30% of it, right? Let them try it out. You can talk in codes also. See, people, I think in like one of the other developer marketing conferences, initially when I was presenting in 2021 or something, I used to share this a lot that when you see a movie, generally movies plot will be that you do storytelling, then you introduce the characters, and we love that. And we kind of use these kind of scenarios in most of the marketing things, like our own marketing things, but in developer marketing, right? It's reverse. You introduce the feature first. You introduce the character. Tell them what's the thing. Give them the laundry list of features so that they know that I have a problem. These guys are features. Once they have tested out 10 minutes and all, they will do everything possible. Once they love the feature, they will do everything possible to get you that call with the budget owner. For the budget owner, do the storytelling. Like whatever storytelling you want to do. Okay, like so yeah, these are basic things, and even smallest of smallest things, like give them something to test. Don't put the white paper gated. How is it gonna help? I don't know. Like, I know people go towards leads and all that, but these should be more of the product led motions, which are more on demos, which are more on like these should be like giving value to them. Let them read your white paper, let them share it with other developers. The entire Discord channel and other thing works on the thing of references, right? You can see how Lovable also got the thing in like 3 months, 4 months, it got that direction. Cursor, things like that, right? So I kind of say this thing only, right? Like, as I would just say, and this with one thing that, okay, stop selling to the developers, start enabling them, start teaching them, right? So that's the basic thing that you could actually do. And please don't talk to them that they are the executives, ROI, and things like that. They don't understand it. Make them love your product.
And keep it simple, like to so that they understand what you're talking about, not just the fluff these days that people are bringing in their landing pages and home pages as well. So I think that would help.
Yeah, absolutely. In that sense, I think I can share one more this thing because you said the landing pages, and I just remembered one
I
of the
was
things.
sure this is gonna trigger something.
It's the space that I've worked. So I was basically, I gave isovalence example, right? So I was able to crack the messaging for isovalent and then got the appreciation from CTO and other things. Now in like 2021 and all these are like most complex things because at DigitalOcean I was selling Kubernetes. At isovalent, it's networking and security on top of Kubernetes. So even for salespeople, you have to explain Kubernetes and then networking and security on the thing, right? So what was happening is many of these people were not able to connect to our story and other things. So the basic thing that I did is separating education and selling. Right? You have an open source product. First, ask someone. Say, suppose Shruti comes to me, and I would ask. First thing, do you know the open source product? Like Cilium, do you know open source product? You say, I don't know. So I would say, leave this person, let them learn for 3 months, 4 months, give all the documentation, education item, enable them, things like that. Right? They will become your champion. Now the second person who comes in, I would ask, okay, do you know the open source product? They would say, yeah, we know this, we have used it and all that. Then I would pitch the enterprise product. I would say that we are the creators of this and this is our enterprise offering. Would you love to test it out? We are open to testing. I'll give them labs. I'll give them these things. So I've separated these two. That's messaging. That's positioning. This is such a simple thing people don't understand. What I did is I removed all the salespeople from the open source Slack channel. There is a very thin line that people don't understand in developer marketing. There's a very thin line between your open source channel and your enterprise product. You cannot just leave your sales free in the open source channel, right? So I just wanted to share that example, like many examples. Sorry, I get excited with developer marketing.
But on that note, like, did you create a buyer's journey for that as well? Because I'm sure a lot of things get sorted when you are trying to, pitch to a persona, or you have some things aligned, like some hypothesis or some assumptions around it.
So yeah, super interesting question. But the thing is, the buyer journey or any of these, no, we cannot stick to it. And now, especially with AI and all, that time also we were not sticking to it. DigitalOcean had a very different approach. I had a very different approach when I would look at buyer journey because the entire thing was community building and all those things. But at Isovalent, the major things was how can you reduce the friction that the CTO and the CEO doesn't have to jump on every sales call. Right. So you have to understand that how can we make the product more visible? So you need to understand what's the goal. First, is it awareness? Is it adoption? So if it is awareness, have the buyer journey around building the community, educating people and all. If it is adoption, then you need to understand where is my problem. Is it the bottom of the funnel, the problem? Is it the middle of the funnel, the problem? People are actually reading my white papers, but then they are not moving to product demo. So you need to understand key, then you have to make the buyer journey like that. That, okay, these are the desires, these are the pain points. You can do all the storytelling. But then if you're not able to convert on a very technical thing, that is your demo, right? That means something is missing out. Something in the product is not right. Or maybe you're demoing the wrong features first. because the attention spam is like less, right? So if you're giving the demo of the product, you should be more focused on showcasing the pain point of this. So buyer journey will change based on the problem that you have and the goal that you have with the company. And that's the same thing with any kind of product marketing. And that's what you should keep. See, you cannot have one playbook working for any other company, right? And please don't try that out into any of these right now, because with AI and all, with developer, like dev tools is also moving fast. So try to see where is the problem. There are like, one hack that I tell people usually is ki this entire thing, no, instead of selling from the selling perspective, think from the buying perspective. Think that buying is hard. Okay, think as a developer, I have 5,000 DevTool product or 300 DevTool products in front of me, and you are adding one more tool and saying to that developer who is already overwhelmed that this is my tool, buy this. So you're focusing on selling. So
Yeah.
how can you make buying easier for him? How can you divide that 300 products into 50 for him? And then from the 50, you should tell him that these are the 10 that you should look at. And from the 10, you pitch your product. So that's the main goal in this entire developer marketing buyer journey, entire thing that you would do. Your focus should be majorly on providing the clarity and how can you simplify things for that buyer. So think from the angle of the buyer, think that buying is super hard in this entire economy. So how can you make it simplified for?
I think I have seen many people make this mistake over time. So I think that's really helpful that you have mentioned how we can actually navigate this messy and chaotic world of marketing. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
shifting gears a little bit towards marketing some AI products right now. You have led some crazy GTM for pretty complex AI products, right? In cybersecurity as well. So, what's your secret sauce positioning or marketing AI products without sounding too generic and without using the words AI powered right now? What's your go to for that?
I mean, you can actually win if you use AI powered. That's the secret sauce. No, there's So yeah, this is like one of the biggest challenges I see, and this is in terms of when we say AI PMM, right? AI product marketing. This is the major thing that's happening. So saying that we use AI or we are AI powered is not a differentiator, right? These are basically like the table stakes at this point. It's technically like saying we are cloud based 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, people started coming to cloud, or in like early 90s, people started coming on internet, and imagine people saying we are internet based, we are cloud based. So internet is so big, cloud is so big, AI is so big. It was definitely working for early adopter companies saying that we are AI powered and all those things. So that's good. But now it has become like messier, right? So the entire secret sauce, I would say, is don't lead with that kind of thing. Lead with the problem and the outcome as the thing, right? So the secret sauce that I have seen is starting with the problem, not the tech. Reverse of developer marketing here, right? Like developer marketing, we spoke about the like giving the laundry list of tech and all that, and then you talk about the problem, storytelling, and all that. But it's a reverse here. You need to understand that, you need to ask yourself, is AI like solving a real pain point? If suppose in the entire, if we take an example of cybersecurity, right? So a lot of security teams and analysts and all right now still work on manual onboarding of the analyst, and you have compliance documentations, which is like aggressive. People take months of time. People are still on Excel sheet. So can you get AI and reduce this not from months to weeks, but in minutes? Right. So the compliance documentation, contract analysis, and these kind of things that used to take the analyst like months to take, months of follow ups with the other company. If I'm Microsoft, if I'm onboarding Zoom as a third party or anything else, this used to take like ages. So if you can do that in minutes, that's your real differentiator. That's basically something that you should be leading with, right? So you can say that, okay, we turned this painful months long thing that used to take like these many months into a 5-minute workflow, and then go and explain that people are still using Excel sheets. People are going and following up. So we are AI, but what did you do with the AI? You just reduced something that's really, really painful to the business. They have been spending time really, really painful for that analyst who is sitting and following up with the company into something. Now you can be louder. Now you can say that, okay, we had a problem, we have a business outcome for that, we have a pain relief. You should pitch yourself as a painkiller, not a vitamin, I will obviously say.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's basically like it's basically a time saver, right? So instead of AI powered, what you have done is you're focused on outcome and problems and other things, right? Like common things in marketing, but just a step back and saying similar things, right? Like how I was saying that, okay, developer works on a laptop, has a problem, and you kind of educate them. Here, the analyst has a problem. You know the thing, and you, instead of educating them, you just tell them, hey, we have a solution, and what's the ROI of that solution? This the same job is taking you like months. We are doing it in 5 minutes.
Correct.
That's how we are using AI, and that's how we are AI powered. So can
Hmm.
you justify the AI powered, right? That's the main.
So even as a product marketer, I've dealt with founders, CMOs, and head of marketing literally in conflict with the term why not to use AI powered, because even in my past experiences as well and currently as well, I am still dealing with those conversations. So
Yeah.
how do you, like, on a personal level, how do you tackle that conversation? Like, do you want to justify it to the stakeholders why it would not make sense, or you just give in and put that because it's hype right now and it will get some more traffic around it, more eyeballs around it? So how do you tackle that?
Many a times it's like super difficult because it's coming from your CXO thing and all that. And right now, I would say it's a good time not to fight, because it'll work out for your SEO. It'll work out for the buzz thing that's been going on. That, okay, it's basically a AI powered cybersecurity product, right? It's a AI powered developer product. It's a AI powered dev tools product. It's a AI powered ed tech, fintech, things like that, right? So people kind of know that it's like AI powered and all that. So I would say it's not like really bad not to use it, but don't overdo it. You can obviously have your messaging saying we are like AI first, AI powered, or say suppose you have worked on a workflow in DevTools that's been a pain for a long time, and you are the first one to solve it. So you can say we are AI first in terms of solving this workflow, right? And but if you have not done it, it doesn't make sense. Someone else will come and comment on
Of
your
course.
CEO's LinkedIn post and say that, you know what, we had this feature 6 months back. So you need to, if you have defending points, then you can definitely put it to your CXO and see if what makes sense. Just having AI powered doesn't make like so much of difference in terms of like, what do you say, adding value to things, but you need to justify, and it's going to be good in terms of the buzz and the SEOs and all that, right? But yeah, major thing if you want to, and the other second part of your question, right? If you really want to fight with the CXOs and all that, you generally have to go with the data. That, as the example I told, right? That, like, we cannot say AI first because XX competitor already had it like 6 months back. Or usually, what you could do is just set up time with some analyst or the industry experts and get some feedback from them, and then mention it to the CXOs that, okay, the XYZ analyst is saying this, it will not
Mhm.
make sense, so should not go ahead with that.
Exactly. I felt like many people listening might be facing the similar challenges. But moving
Yeah, yeah.
on to some sort of survival guide for technical PMMs, I know on LinkedIn or anywhere on social media, technical product marketing or in general, technical marketing sounds very glamorous, very catchy. But in
Hmm.
reality, I think it can feel a bit like thrown into the end with sharks. Like, it's very difficult to manage. It's very like different from reality. So, what skills or habits or even a mindset would help to not just survive in this technical role, but thrive as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of smiling on all those words because all the words that you were speaking is from my XX company, because the company was called Digital Ocean, right? So we are a ocean and we used to call ourselves sharks. So it's basically like how do we, and it has come to me as a situation when I was like a solution architect becoming moving to product marketing, and we had this super technical product that I was being given, right? So for me it's all like shark, ocean, and swim or die situation. So it was technically a swim or die situation because I need to learn the product. And the glamorous thing in your question is a generous word, I would say. And so this is what I usually tell to people. Being a technical PMM, no, often means that you're the only person in the room who speaks both the product and the buyer, right? So if you can understand this point, you're set. So you're basically like constantly translating between engineers, then sales, leadership, customers, and all these things you're doing without dropping a ball or something, right? So if I think of like some of the things that has helped me survive in my thing, I think it would be that I think the first and foremost thing is learning just enough technical to be dangerous, right? I
Okay.
mean, we kind of discussed this a bit here. I don't want you to code in Python and other things and start. If you can do it well and good, like sit with the engineers, reduce their time. I'm speaking about your own engineers as well. Then, so but if you can learn like just enough technical to be like dangerous so that you know things, so that you don't go back to the PMs again and again, the
Hmm.
engineers. So it's basically like you can actually read docs, you can play with the product, you can ask dumb questions. And trust me, I have never regretted spending time with engineers. They are good if you can ask. They are not people whom you would ask dumb questions and they would not answer, right? But the only thing that they don't love is you becoming the expert and telling them when you don't know. So yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing I generally say is fall in love with the problem, not just the product, right? You just fall in love with the problem that you have. You get obsessed with it. The entire job is like telling the story of the problem, right? And why your product is the right answer to it. It's basically like you do anchor messaging, GTM, anything that you do, just have a goal that why your product is the answer to this story or the problem. If you can just have that, it's going to be like really good. And then while you are learning the product and while you're learning the domain, you're building credibility with your thing, right? So in this entire technical things, as I said, join the Discord channels. I've also joined. I tried to become the CNCF ambassador, so that these developers will look at me as a CNCF ambassador who has been coding, who has been doing ops side of the things. He knows DevOps, he knows things, right? Just to gain their confidence. Otherwise, I post something, they would not agree to it. They would not do it, right? And document as much as possible. This entire thing that you would document while sitting with them, being in the Discord channel, these will help your own team, your own sales people. I've been documented few things. I think I remember from the Discord channel, I had known few things. I documented it, and the salesperson was actually telling that this can be an actual battle guard, right? With like some of the other competitors who's been like using it, right? So these are the things that I would say, usually three four things. And yeah, the last thing that I would say is being like super curious and not defensive on things. Like you say that, okay, I've been able to survive here as a developer marketer only because I would say that, okay, if I don't have an answer, I would say that, okay, I don't know, but I'll find it out. Let me just come back to you, right? So if you are curious and don't have the ego and not being like defensive and all. See, cybersecurity is too big, AI is too big, cloud is too big. It's difficult for someone to know everything, right? So these are like really complex products. So you can say that in my previous company, I learned XYZ. Is it relatable to that? Is it referenceable to that? Can I learn these things? What are the gaps I have? People will be happy to tell. But if I come and say that, you know what, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this, when we kind of try to give the entire knowledge base to them, when we ourselves don't know things, that's when it gets messier, right? So these are
Exactly.
the 4 5 things that I have been able to do and survive, I would say.
Yeah, Sachin, you just saved someone a year of trial and error with that answer. So thank you so much for attempting that. One of the things that I am really curious to understand, even myself as a product marketer in 2025, is upskilling. You have created a lot of content around it, but when AI is basically every tool that we are touching right now, what should we actually focus on upskilling in? Like, is it some soft skills, some tools that are really important in our workflows these days? Or is it just technical skills, storytelling, or just learning how to ask the right questions? Like, what do you think would be really important as of 2025 and beyond? Like, we are towards the end of 2025. So, what would you say are some things that are non negotiable right now? And we should be focusing on learning that.
Yeah, so now you are actually asking the super important questions as well. So yeah, this is coming to me every day in all the mentoring sessions. Whoever people book the sessions and ask this that, hey, we are exposed and things like that, right? And I'll be like super transparent with the people, that the early career marketers, right? whether it's product marketers or anyone else, you guys or we are the most exposed ones. If we are the early career marketers right now, and people I've seen hiring managers giving a thing also that do we really need the junior marketers? ChatGPT, Jasper, Copy.ai can do things, right? So because historically these tasks were done by junior marketers, like writing the first draft, summarizing research, generating the campaign. Like executing things and all that, right? Now AI can do it in minutes. I can just train Jasper with messaging versioning and give it to the demand gen VP, and they would just have the email campaign being trained on our thing and run, right? So what I tell people is, how do you stay valuable even in the entry level thing? Do not think that you are basically like an entry level thing and all. That doesn't work right now, because even if you have 1 year of experience, I say that build the domain expertise, right? Don't think that, I know you have to be generalist. People talk about all those things like T-shaped, generalist and all that. But if you can have an advantage, like I have built myself as a thing that I am a developer marketer, right? People look at me from the developer marketing angle or the cyber thing, that I'm a technical marketer. So and usually this is what I tell people: go back, whatever you have learned, right? And even before coming to product marketing, you could have done sales, you could have done something like that. So pick up the domain, find out the domain. What is it? What is that vertical? Is it dev tools? Is it climate? Is it fintech? Is it infra? Whatever it is, right? And learn the hell out of it. Right? Like, because see, AI can write everything, but there are market gaps. There are things that we have to emotionally understand what the competitors are doing. What is the buyer behavior? What are the pain points? What's the moat? If I don't understand the pain points of the developers, I cannot do a better job, right? So your job as a human is to understand the space better than anyone else in the room. So that's when you'll be called as a product marketer, the market expert that is going to come back to things, right? So that's what I say. Develop, like, learn. First of all, have the domain expertise. Second thing, learn the tools. And this is what I tell people: that learn the tools. Don't wait for your manager to learn that. It's basically like get fluent in the AI tool stack. Like, if things are done, like, can you do things faster and better than with the right tools? Can you use like Notion AI to prep meeting briefs? Can you use ChatGPT to write those 3-4 variants and give it to them immediately? Or can you actually use something like Firecrawl to generate those competitor summaries and go and check that, right? Can you actually learn the tools and differentiate yourself from that thing? So yeah, those are the things I could think of. And yeah, one important thing, I started talking about this on LinkedIn and I'm getting a lot of backdrop, is because what I'm telling people is, as a product marketer, no, and early stage marketers are in a good spot right now. We have always focused on strategy, like do this strategy, and execution has always with demand gen people, with field marketers. If the event is successful, it's regional marketing. But who has given you the messaging? Things like that, right? So I tell people that now the entire shift is happening with things like Clay, GTM engineering, GTM ops, AI, and all. So I tell people that I'm telling, and I'm also learning every day, is how can we create the strategy and also execute it to some level. Imagine you being a product marketer plus a GTM engineer, right? To some extent, I'm not telling you to become a full-fledged GTM engineer there, but to some extent, you know some of these tools like Clay, Hayreach, and things like that. So you have done the entire strategy. You are like orchestrator of the entire campaign, and you can actually help the demand gen manager or something to automate the entire story. This entire thing comes from the leads to this thing. So junior people are like in a really good spot, because you can learn the tools right now. Learn like 5 different tools. Learn GTM engineering. Showcase yourself as like a GTM engineer. These jobs are really high paying right now, and people are looking for it. If you're not getting an entry point, enter with this, and then go towards strategy things. Maybe enter with execution and then go towards strategy thing. Or if you are already doing the strategy things, make yourself into this thing on how you can actually start executing things. And so yeah, these are the 2 to 3 things that I feel, and I was like super transparent. I talk about the same thing that I feel I am doing, right? I'm learning GTM engineering and other things, so I talk about it. I try out tools, and other things. Because see, the major challenge with the PMMs has always been showing the value of our work, right?
Exactly.
And if you can show the value of your work in campaigns and revenue and other, that's the best thing. Like you're also an executor, right? And many of these startups and early stage startups where you'll be like the founding PMM. So you will have to do things. You cannot have a budget to hire like a separate GTM engineer. You'd say that, hey, I'm going to be implementing Clay. They say, okay, implement. And another 10K to hire a Clay expert who's going to go and implement things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I was like completely transparent on this. We have to be like that.
Of course. So you touched a little bit about like breaking into these technical roles. I have a full question around it. Like people who want or they are currently in a generic IC role in marketing or in a very different field as well. There are many people who want to switch or transition to product marketing right now. So are there any steps or a mindset change that they need to have to break into product marketing or technical product marketing roles right now? Like do you have any one or two hacks that they can use just after listening to this podcast today?
So yeah, I mean, this is what I tell that majorly we are in a good spot right now. I know that market is not that generous right now, but in a good spot because say suppose you are applying for a dev tools company, right? And you need to show your value to the dev tools founder. Earlier, what like even 5 years back, I'm not saying like some 20 years back. 5 years back, if I have to show my value, I had to actually learn some code that they are using or like learn Kubernetes and then show that I've built this setup on Kubernetes and then this is how I'll market it. So it's basically like building the product also so that they understand that I know the product. And then also that this is how I would do GTM for that. This is how I would market. Now you don't have to do that right now. You can just use cursor.ai or Lovable and say suppose the dev tools that they have created you can just go to Lovable and say, create like a replica of this or just add this feature to this product and have a prototype out of that. You can go to base 44, implement that, send it to the founder. And this is on the product side of the thing. Like record a Loom video of yours stating that this is the prototype I've created with the feature. This is the messaging and all that I would be doing. This is how I would do GTM for this. Okay. And if you know some things on the GTM engineering and tools like Clay and all that, you can actually say that this is the channels I would use, like tools like Clay, HeyReach. I would do it on LinkedIn. I would do it on Substack, things like that. How would you make the founder led sales? How would you have the enablement done? So do that. This will separate you from the 1,000 people who are applying. The 1,000 people who are applying would just go to LinkedIn and click on easy apply. And they would not even put their resume, trust me. They'll click on easy apply. So what you can do is find out the company, go see if there is a HR. First see if there is a product marketing team. If there is no product marketing team, find out if there is a VP of product marketing or director of PMM or a founding PMM is working alone. Generally these kind of roles will be to help them. So they have reached a plateau. So how can you help them? So understand that, okay, if Shruti is a founding PMM for this XYZ developer company, maybe she's working from 2 years. She might have done all the strategic things, execution thing. Now she's moving to a VP of product marketing role where her job becomes more strategic and she wants to offload the execution or the grunt work kind of thing, right? Like creating the white paper, these, that, and all. So how can you show that value? So pick up that person, record a Loom video or things like that, create a portfolio on Figma or just on Notion, showing all your content, all the things that you have done, or you would do it, right? So suppose if you have not done it, just take that company as example and send an email or send a buy the premium of LinkedIn for like a month and it's gonna be cheaper, better than your Netflix and other cost. And take the email it to them and tell them that this is the entire value that I bring in. This is why it will be, you have communities like PMA and all that, right? Most of the product marketers you can find there. Slack them, find them. So you'll be different. And this hiring manager, if there is no hiring manager, the company is very pre-seed and all those stages, then you can directly send it to the CEO and the CTO. Reach out to the people. So these are hacks. Non-negotiable things are you need to stand out. You need to build something. There are hundreds of tools right now to build things. So please build things. You need to stand out with either the portfolio or anything that you've built up and then reach out directly. So you remove the friction from the people, right? That, okay, how can you, Shruti reached out to me and she told me exact three things that why I had put up the role in the first place, right? So that's the thing. All those things of resumes and easy apply and things like that are like no one has time.
That's like so 2024 I would say, because like hiring itself has changed, I believe, and like I have been in the market looking for a job, so I've seen the impact of making some efforts and showing value as a PMM even before you actually get hired for that role. Okay,
Sure, sure.
so before we wrap up our super conversational podcast today, what's one AI tool you are currently using in your day to day that's so good you would recommend it to your friends or you already have and not just your colleagues? Bonus if it's something quirky and fun.
Okay. So I don't know. I mean, there are like many tools, but I would actually say, since I have to recommend it to my friends who are, say, suppose non-technical and all that, I would go with ChatGPT only. But I'll just explain it, right? And there are like many tools. So here, basically using ChatGPT in a different way, right? So how can I use to get to kind of get better at things, right? How can it coach me and something that like with the everyday job that I have, right? As a product marketer, I have 100 things on table. So something that I need to say and to say is no, right? So like I literally type out that, okay, can you write a polite but firm email declining a request?
Yeah.
Without burning the bridge. Can you help me push back on a timeline without sounding like passively aggressive? Things like that. And I'm not going to lie, it works. And what would happen is, see, I could have given a fancy tool there, but this is something that helps me get better at things. It saves me in mental energy. If I don't use ChatGPT or something, I would just keep thinking, okay, how would I reply to this email
Exactly.
in
Yeah.
a polite way? Because my thing of, I mean, I should not say as a product marketer, but my major thing is to help people, right? In the first place. So that comes naturally. So without burning the energy, this is how it has helped me. How do you use the tool, right? See, ChatGPT is common, but how do you use it? Many people don't know how to use it. Can you use it as a coach to get better in the areas that you are struggling, right? And I would just add one more thing because I know you asked for one tool, but this I just remembered while saying, and this I've been using it a lot, and everyone should start using is and not like a promotion thing, but the Notebook LM's mind map feature, right? So they just got the mind map and the AI voice feature. What I usually do is I would just put this dump of all, say, suppose the things that I want to learn, say, suppose GTM engineering, right? I would put all the blogs and all link in that and say to create a mind map. So it'll just create a mind map that'll tell me the four things. And then I open that and it tells me the whole thing, right? And if suppose I need to learn something, but I'm also multitasking, right? So I've just put all these heavy cybersecurity things in the notebook LM and tell it to read it for me in a summarized way. So I'm just working and it's telling me that, okay, this developer tool has done this company is acquired, and I'm also listening to things, right?
Nice.
So I've used this to summarize the PDFs. I've used it to also like, it has also given me, or if there is something like a podcast, I don't have time to listen to the whole thing. I would just tell it to summarize it and in its voice assistant and all that, right? So I know I told you two tools and these are the common tools,
Yeah.
but my biggest thing with AI is you should have a problem and then that's why you should come up with automation, the thing, because you're doing something manually, something you're not good at, and it teaches you and all that, right? Don't use AI for the sake of using AI, or same thing goes with your product, right? That's what I'll say.
Exactly. First of all, I hope people don't put the link of this podcast into LLM and get the insight out of it. But I hope.
No. I want them to read and view the
Exactly.
entire thing.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Sachin, for sharing the three tools. No, two. Yeah.
Two.
But
Yes.
yes.
If you want three, I can tell three. No
Tell,
worries.
please. Why not? There's no.
No,
Uh,
yeah. So something I know people are very familiar with Gamma these days and other things, right? But something that's also popping up, I would give you a newer insight, right? There's a tool called a GenSpark. So GenSpark.ai, it can do things that Gamma also does it, and I've been able to find really good insights and presentations that it can do. Usually, I also use it, and sorry, Shruti, I'm coming back to YouTube and other things. I also use it to summarize things, like create a one pager on a YouTube video. Like, say, suppose people can take this podcast and put it on GenSpark and tell to create a one pager
Okay.
and
That's
then
pretty
post it on
cool.
LinkedIn. So that would be great, no, if people are doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, people listening to this, please go to GenSpark, take
Yeah.
this video if you want, and create a lovely slide deck or something that you read it and also share it on LinkedIn.
Exactly. And please do tag us as well so that we know what you're cooking up with all those AI tools. So it would be a good use case.
Yeah, this, but yeah, if I'm creating presentation these days, I'm heavily using napkin.ai and to actually create those workflows and things like that. I would just post the text and tell it to create those workflow diagrams and all. It
Okay.
has so happened that many a times in the earlier days, I used to go to like iPad, and whenever I'm talking to the creative people, I would go to my iPad and draw some really funky, since I'm not designer, and I would say that, you know what, I need this use case like this boxes and all. And they would be like, okay, what is this? And then they kind of, but at least that would help in thought thing. Now I go to napkin.ai, put the thing, and it gives me like really good ideas. And I put that and go to my creative team and say that, you know what, we can do it this way. Or if I'm like enabling people or having like some of these conversations that I'm having it on LinkedIn and other things, I could just directly take up that, and it creates a really nice workflow, right? So yeah, napkin.ai has been a really good helping thing that's been coming.
For sure. I think I'm also gonna be researching on these tools because they are new to me as well. But I'll tag all the links around GenSpark, Napkin AI, and other tools that we have discussed today. But Sachin, thank you so much for breaking down AI, developer marketing, and technical PMM survival in today's world. And it has been super insightful. For everyone listening, if you're curious about AI, remember, learning a little bit every day will take you so much further than feeling overwhelmed by the hype that we are getting right now. So that's it for
Yeah.
today's episode of Behind the Brief. If you found this valuable, share it with a friend who's secretly Googling what's developer marketing right now. Until next time, keep learning and do follow Sachin for all the amazing tech content that he produces. And he does coaching as well. So just hit him up and block his calendar just right now so that he can help you with all your questions around developer marketing, PMM, and technical PMM as well. Thank you so much, Sachin,
Yeah.
for taking your
Amazing.
time.
Thank you so much, Shruti.